Hello, wonderful world. It's Jennifer here at Eureka Astrology and Healing. Today I'm at Sturgeon Bay doing the Cancer New Moon astrological forecast. The Cancer New Moon is going to be on July 17th, 2023 at 1:31 p.m. Central Standard Time. Adjust your clocks accordingly, so to speak, for your time zone. And so, like I said, I'm in Sturgeon Bay today. And so 1 year ago, I did the same video. I mean, obviously, the astrology was a little different for the Cancer New Moon. And I was in Hawaii on the Pacific Ocean on the water. And today, I'm again on the water. You're going to see boats, the bridge raising, people around. And it harkens a lot to Cancer, right? And so the theme we're thinking about at this new moon, family. I'm at a resort. I'm at a family reunion. I was at a family trip last year. And then water. Cancer's associated with water and the depths of water. And what is a water represented in so many cultures and especially in astrology? It's emotions, right? The deep feelings. And so also nurturing and right support. How do plants grow? How do humans stay alive and animals? Water. So these are the overall energies of this new moon. Family, emotional security, deep feelings. And with it as a new moon, you have to remember the sun and moon are together. And so that's, we haven't talked a lot about but the moons and their age, so to speak. But think about the new moon. It's almost like a brand new baby. In this case, a brand new baby in Cancer. Like, I have needs. I have emotional needs. I need to be held. I need to be supported. So this is a very large theme. And going into the astrology a little bit more, and one of the overarching themes that I see is this moon is called the mother-daughter's moon. And there is a very loud boat going by. And so when you get to the mother and daughter's moon, and again, it doesn't have to be these specific genders, but it's the archetypes, right? The archetype of the mother and the daughter. The mother is nurturing, caring, supporting, all loving, making sure the child feels safe, right? And the child is there, learning, doing, growing, but knowing it has that support, right, of the mother. What I see in this moon, or in this astrology of this moon phase, though, is there's a lot of youth, but this is similar to kind of the last one. There's different planetary aspects, like different planets making these aspects, but it's the call for, like, yeah, it's okay to be nurtured and held and to be the person who nurtures and holds and supports. But there's this underlying theme of it's time to be a little bit responsible for yourself. It's time to mature and grow up a little bit. You still get to have that support. But if you don't start to have confidence in yourself, and I see this with Pluto and Capricorn opposing this, it's like, hey, guess what, though? It's time for you to call on your strength and to find your confidence. And this is the overall largest theme of this moon to me, is finding your confidence. We've got energies in Leo, so right, that's like who I am and where I am in this world and just expressing it. Confidence, right? What happens when we don't have that confidence? We may run to our caretaker, our mother, our father, an authority figure. There's a lot of themes, again, of authority kind of lurking around, kind of saying, hey, sure, I'll take care of you. But with that, not that the person is doing it necessarily, but it could be that with that, you lose your confidence, you lose your authority, wherever that may be, but also the authority with yourself, and where you might need to be a leader, actually, and you kind of are stepping back. It's like, well, I feel safe and secure over here. So themes of where are we feeling a little too safe, a little too secure in our world, because it's good to have that, but it's undermining our full potential, and that's another theme. If you can find that confidence, and if you can find where you have that authority and say, okay, like, thank you for your nurturing, but it's time for me to step up and step out. And that's, again, going back to the mother-daughter, where all of a sudden, as the daughter gets older, not an adult yet, where it's like, hey, I need to kind of cut my teeth out there on the world, and I need to make mistakes. I need to try things. And the mother's like, oh, I'm here to protect you. I don't want you to go anywhere. Don't do anything without me. You're not safe. Well, then the daughter goes nowhere and doesn't learn some of those life experiences that are meant for the daughter. They're not meant for the mother in that way. They're meant for the daughter. So this is just a huge theme of where do you find your confidence? Where do you find your emotional security and within yourself? And how do you move forward in the world? Not cutting out people. I'm not saying like ditch the parent, ditch the whomever. But it's going to be a dance, and there's going to be tensions around that. And there's an aspect to the North Node. The next theme is the North Node is leaving Scorpio and Taurus, and this moon is making an aspect with Pluto and the sun and the moon, and that's the south node, and that thing's leaving, like it's time to transform, it's time to let this go, it's time to let those relationships go where it's not serving you anymore, and it's time to let it move on and be born into something new. But there is always the energy of like, oh, but you need me. It's very scorpionic, but you need me to do stuff, and it's so intense and intimate. It's way beyond like Cancer. Cancer's doing this, it can have like, many children and be nurturing. Scorpio's like one-on-one, so it could be like this, like almost like an only child and a parent going like, just not letting go of the child, and the child not letting go of the parent, because of course you do. Of course I need you and you need me. Like let's stay together. But it's not good for either, because the mother, right, can over nurture and they lose their identity, and then make the child codependent. The child never gets beyond where they need to go. So back to the north and south node though, on this day, it's just days away really from moving out of Taurus and Scorpio. Scorpio, again, the energy of leaving. It's time to let go of maybe control and power struggles, and the need to be like, I need to be with someone deeply and intensely, and be like, hey, actually, how about you go and value yourself and value being with yourself and the resources that you have, but also valuing the resources of this planet. Let's be real. It's been a year and a half, and there's other energies in Taurus that are at play here, but it's time for us to get real about what we do with this planet and how we treat it and what we have. There you go. The cops agree. The planet wants us to really love and support it and understand the abundance we do have and what we can offer, but how not to abuse it, right? Nothing, energy is infinite, but like the material world, Taurus says like, yeah, no, like the food can run out, until you grow more. The water can run out until you purify more or find where it has gone onto this planet. So be respectful of them. And what's interesting is we're going to be going into then a north node into Aries, south node into Libra, moving away from like relationships and more of that socialization aspect and harmony, actually. I don't want to say we're going away from harmony, but into, again, a sense of being confident in who we are, what we do, how we do it in the world, and asking for what we need. So, and it's going to be meeting up with Chiron. So like the wound of the collective, like saying like, hey, my needs matter, but also like it's kind of on for like the next year and a half, where people are going to continue to stand up and stand out even more. It's going to be interesting for sure, and I'm sure some people will overdo it as well. And I'm not talking about protesting. I just mean like personally, day to day, like, well, my needs matter. That's it, and I'm not listening to anybody else, because right, Libra is like the other person, right? I'm not caring about the other person's needs, the other person's their need for balance and harmony. So it'll be interesting. It's going to be happening for a year and a half, and may we all ride it gloriously and beautifully. So that was one of the other themes. The other theme, but like notable, is that Venus just is days away from, it's pretty much stationed now. It's at 28 degrees, but not quite yet. On the 22nd, it's going to be stationing retrograde until the fall, and it's going to be in Leo. So this is coming into, okay, what's Leo, right? My expression, how people see me and pay attention to me. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of people being like, hey, like, I want to redo my joy. Am I finding joy in my romantic partnerships? Am I letting myself shine? Like, rethinking how you do that. And like, is it too much? Is it too little? Also, potentially like your creations, like, hey, it's a good time to like think about your creations and redo them. If you've started something and like on pause, like, how can I redo this vision? And people might think like also that it's time for them to be seen and to be heard. And one of the kind of caveats is like, where are we looking for validation? This kind of ties back into the mother and daughter moon again. Are we seeking out other people's validation? Is that really serving us and our true authentic expression? Most likely not. Some other energies to think of too is that, let's see here, I have my notes. We've kind of talked about it. We're looking at our emotional security, our confidence, and then the sense of authority. Those are really what I kind of see as the summation. And so if you're doing new moon manifestations, like, what is your highest potential? What is your true expression? Where is it time for you to step up and be an authority? And yet know, like, you are supported. There is some support here, right? With family and nurturing. Just don't let it crush you. Don't let it stop you. Don't let it hold you back. It might not, and I know this is not an easy task. When I tell people, like when I do tarot readings, I say things and I say them calmly, but I realize like some of these are big asks. Like you may be in a relationship with somebody where maybe it's not a mother and daughter, but it's like that, where someone's just like, oh, I'll take care of you no matter what. And it's actually hindering your growth and your potential. So on the new moon, focus on what is your highest good, what is your highest potential, and what are you bringing to the table, and how can you do it confidently. Just try to not just try to manifest it, try to bring that and manifest that with an open heart and joy, and enjoy. Like I said, there are going to be some tensions for sure, and if you have these relationships and you are trying to break away or free from some of the dynamics, or just change, right, the whole paradigm of that dynamic, it's going to be a little bit stressful. Usually most people don't just like switch over easily into a new shift, especially if there's codependency. But it's good, ultimately it's good for everybody involved, because once you get through that looking glass, you'll find your confidence if you're the person who's the one that's maybe the daughter. But remember, if you're the mother, so to speak, quote unquote, and this situation happens and there is a breakaway, or there's just like a freeing of some of that responsibility, you'll find time for yourself and your own creativity and the confidence in you. You're more than just a nurturer, right? More than just a caretaker. Know your emotional security and where it's at. It's in you. With that, I'm Jennifer at Eureka Astrology and Healing. Thanks for bearing with the horns, the Coast Guards, the people. I think that, this is the universe's way of telling me to let it go, because I tried to make this video like 4 times and I just kind of had to surrender and go like, I don't have control of this. And that speaks to that Scorpio South Node. And I really wanted to do it, before we actually got to that moon. So I hope you found some insight. And if you like what I'm doing, hit like, subscribe. You can check out my website and I can do astrological readings for you, because this is going to be very different for everybody in your chart. Where the new moon is for one person is going to be very different for someone else. And say it's on some of your planets, you're going to feel this much more deeply. And it could be, say, at work, and it's like, oh, hey, it's time for you to step up and stand out. Like, you may be a caretaker, but you also may need to like shine and let yourself be seen. So it's going to be different for everyone. Could be in the home, could be in your body. Like, it's like time to take care of your body. So it's just going to be different for everyone. And that's what a birth chart and a year ahead chart is really good for, because I can look and see like actually how it's interplaying with your chart. With that, I'm Jennifer Helmer, Eureka Astrology Healing. May the stars guide you and the planets ground you. Ciao for now.